Hi guys, and welcome to the Haxton Knits channel. If you don't know me, I'm Deanna. I'm a master knitter living in Okinawa, Japan, and this channel is all about knitting. This week we have an expert knitter reacting to knitting in movies. Let's get started. If you watch my channel often, you know that I love a nerdy deep dive. One of my favorite things on the internet right now are the experts react to videos. I have been watching tons and tons of these. Everything from astronaut reacts to space scenes in movies, or 747 pilot reacts to aviation memes. So many fun videos. I thought, wouldn't it be fun for me, yours truly, to do just the same? So this week I've got a selection of knitting in movies for you. Knitting shows up in movies so often and so poorly. Let's see what movies we can take apart this week.
We've all got an agreement that we're not going to eat stew, right?
Right. I am knitting a scarf for stew.
Trying to take.
When you are a vampire, you live for hundreds of years. You may as well get good at something.
You'd be a better knitter.
One of my favorite hobbies is erotic dancing.
This is my torture chamber.
Okay, if you guys don't know this movie, Things We Do in the Shadows is kind of like a campy, spoofy movie about vampires. It's very funny and it's really worth watching, really funny. I really think they missed an opportunity here. If I were going to shoot a scene about a vampire knitting, there is no way he would be knitting in anything but like a size 19 knitting needle, okay? Like, how could you not want to get one of these like vampire slayer stakes into a scene with a knitting vampire? Oh, the lightning is like right on time. We're talking spooky vampires. Oh, I'm so wrong, guys. This is a US size 50, 50. Why did I think these were 19s? I used these for knitting a giant blanket a long time ago, and how I managed to fit all of the blanket stitches on this is, I don't know.
It's not much, but it's home.
I think it's brilliant.
Where have you been? Harry, how wonderful to see you, dear. Bed's empty, no note, car gone. You could have died. You could have been seen. Of course, I don't blame you, Harry, dear.
They were starving him, Mum. There were bars on his window.
Well, you best hope I don't put bars on your window, Ronald Weasley. Come on, Harry. Time for a spot of breakfast.
How could I not include Harry Potter on this list? There are so many Harry Potter themed knitting books and projects and things out in the world. There's even like a Ravelry forum where it's all different houses of Harry Potter knitting and having different like games and quests and things to do. Ron Weasley sweaters are like synonymous. Anyone who loves Harry Potter and knitting has probably thought about casting one of those on, or one of the great scarves. But come on, guys, look at this scene. So when we first come in, what you see is like magic knitting happening, and all that's really happening is like they're just clanking the knitting needles together. Literally, like the thing's just doing this, which sounds really more impressive because I have these. But what really strikes me about this scene is that the only knitting in the scene is the knitting on those needles, and everything else you see is crocheted. Like all the accessories that you spot in the background and the clothes that Ron Weasley's mother is wearing, they're crocheted. And I forgive people for not knowing the difference between knitting and crocheted, but I do. I just love when I see knitting in movies and then their house is just full of crocheted stuff and there's not like a single knitted object on the walls.
O avô são dois homens. A mãe e a avó são duas mulheres. O avô e a avó são pessoas de idade. O pai e a mãe são gente nova. Os 3 filhos são ainda crianças. A senhora Magalhães é mulher do senhor Magalhães. O senhor Magalhães é marido da senhora Magalhães. Jaime é irmão de Margarida e Lucy.
Okay, so this is Breakfast at Tiffany's, Audrey Hepburn, and of course we know, she's actually a knitter, and you can tell by the way she's holding her yarn in this video. Let me see. So there are lots of different ways you can hold your yarn. If you're an experienced knitter, you already know this, but if you are coming to this channel for another reason, you don't know this. But many knitters, especially in the US, will hold their needle above the needle and work like this, and they'll either throw or pick. But she's actually got the needle resting in her thumb, and she's using her hand in a lever method. Sometimes they actually call this lever knitting. I also know it as Irish cottage knitting, because a lot of the cottage industry, the production knitters from Ireland would knit in this style, and knitters who knit like this can get really fast. You may see them holding their yarn this way, or anchoring their needle underneath their arm, or in some cases using a knitting belt or knitting sheath, and you can get some really super fast speeds when you knit that way. Overall, great to see someone who actually knows what they're doing. I can't fault the actors. You know, they have so many things they have to learn and so many skills in every role. They have to sort of just get enough to look like they know what they're doing. So I forgive actors who don't know how to knit in movies. I definitely won't forgive someone who has animated, like a drawing or something like that. No excuses there. Animators can look up how knitting is supposed to look and animate it. That's all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me some feedback. Let me know if there are other knitting scenes you'd like to see me react to. You can send them to my Instagram page at Haxton Knits. I'll see you next week.